Meeting more winged Supermodified drivers as we get closer to the start of the season. And in case you missed it, ISMA and MSS have merged for the 2023 season, so it is going to be a good one. Driver I've got in the phone with me right now, he's a pretty smart guy, 30 years old. He is a mechanical engineer by trade. That's his degree. Finished 12th in points with ISMA last year, 3rd in points with MSS, as that's primarily where he started. 13th season in Wing Supers coming up. He's driven all kinds of things, quarter midgets, 600 micro sprints, E-mods, Formula SAE too, by the way, which is something very cool. Look that up. And he drives a race car that he built himself. So let's head out to Bowling Green, Ohio. AJ Laseki just got done putting his son to bed, and he's got a little time here on Wednesday night. How we doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for making time for me. We spent a lot of time working on our profile from earlier, so you got to be pretty excited. MSS and ISMA together, big schedule. You're going to do the 5-race deal at Oswego. I bet you can't wait till it gets here, huh?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to the season. Getting pretty anxious building a new car here. Can't wait for Jennerstown to come around and actually get going.
So how many cars do you have right now?
So we will have hopefully 2 by the time we go to Jennerstown.
So this is a brand new.
We had 2 last year. We had the one that we built, and then we had a Grunda chassis. That was kind of a collaboration deal with John Hennis that we sold to Neubauer's, and then we're building a brand new Super for this year. So we'll have 2 of our own Supermodifieds.
I mean, you and your brother?
Correct. Me and my brother Jonathan. It's a family-run deal.
How many cars have you built?
So this will just be number 2.
Number 2, okay. Do you go off of something? Do you kind of measure on other cars? I mean, how do you know what to even do the first time you build one?
The first time we built it, I had just got done running for David May for 6 years in a Bodnar chassis. And then we had a family-owned Hyder Hawk. And I kind of knew what I liked from both cars. So really, my brother and I sat down and, took, what we thought was right. And then, I designed a complete front suspension off of just what I thought we needed and just kind of went from there. And it turned out pretty good.
Are we basing this second car off the first one then? Or are we doing some different things with this new car?
So we're definitely basing it off of the first one, taking the things that we learned. There's certain areas that I think we could improve, and that's where we're making the changes. So, we're trying to keep it similar, trying to be able to use parts from one car to the other, but also not constraining ourselves to that.
Right, yeah, you don't want to make a carbon copy exactly, but you want to be able to swap parts if you can. Pretty much that simple, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like quite a challenge.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
I would imagine. How close is this new car right now, today?
It looks like it's pretty close. We just got done with the body, just got done building the headers for the car. So, when you look at it, it looks like it should be ready to go to the racetrack, but it's not. There's still, a lot of the little things left to do that, are really what takes the most amount of time. So, we should be ready, but we got quite a bit of work ahead of us still.
Start with last year's car then and work the new one in along the way. Is that the plan?
No, the plan is for me to be in the new car, the first night. So, the goal is to practice at Lorraine County, the week before we go to Jennerstown.
Gotcha.
And, have it ready to go.
Nice. Yeah, nice to have a practice. And if you're wondering, too, and I asked him the same thing, most people I know who are AJ and they race, you were named, obviously, after your AJ Foyt.
Yep. I was born Andrew and, always AJ.
Okay.
Always from the time I can remember, and it was from AJ Foyt.
So even in quarter midgets, you were AJ.
Yep.
Okay.
I've always been AJ. That's all I've ever known. If somebody calls me Andrew, it's a sign they don't actually know me.
Or maybe a teacher, perhaps, might have called you Andrew. Yeah. That might be about it right there. So obviously, the big change this year is ISMA and MSS are together. I know you finished third in MSS points. Any thoughts on the merger?
I think the merger is a good thing overall for Supermodified racing. Unfortunately, car counts have been an issue with both series over the past few years. So I think, like I said, both really needed to do it to improve the car count. honestly, I'm not thrilled on the way the schedule shaked out. Specifically, 6 single-day shows in New York.
Yeah.
But I think, for this merger to be successful, everyone has to compromise a little bit. And, for me, that's going to be making the trip to New York. And, some that's self-inflicted. Those 6 shows include the 2 tailwing shows that are not part of the ISMA MSS schedule, but are part of the John Nicotra series that we've signed up to do.
And you told me this will be new for you because you have not run anything outside of an ISMA MSS winged package, right?
That's correct. I've always wanted to get up to Oswego and run the tail wing. We actually built one last year and had it, all ready to go, but there's always just been an excuse or a reason not to go. So, this year with the schedules aligning, them staying off each other's weekends, and with the Nicotra, points fund, it's really the extra push to go do it. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, most guys I talk to, they start with a tail wing, unless they're just exclusively winged like you were up until this point next year. I would imagine going from a winged car to a tail wing car, that's got to be a pretty big adjustment, I would think.
I'll let you know in a few months here. But we actually did test the car last year with the tail wing, and it was a lot of fun. But, it wasn't at a place like Oswego that was high speed, so I didn't really get, the full feeling for it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, just don't dive those corners as hard as you're used to. Pretty much the big thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, we'll see.
That'll be fun to see. So, and again, this is a 5-race series, in case you missed it, that has its own championship, its own points, 3 winged races and 2 non-winged races, all of them, like he said, up at Oswego Speedway. So I know a lot of people will be taking advantage of that. So as we come into this season, I know you've won before. How long has it been since your last win?
I won last year the Super Crown, one of the Super Crown national races at Lorraine. So, we had 1 win last year.
Is that your favorite place?
No, my favorite place is probably Toledo, which I had, 2 wins at. Should have been 3.
They went back-to-back.
Toledo, they were back-to-back. So Toledo and IRP, are really my favorite places, which unfortunately are not on the schedule. But, maybe we can get back to at least IRP here in the future.
Okay. How is that place? I remember that used to be a big thing on TV, probably back when you were a kid. How is it getting around IRP?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
I loved it. I know my brother loved it. He raced it in our family car. I just really enjoy the big, high-speed tracks.
Yeah, for those of you who remember Thursday Night Thunder back in the day, that's IRP, okay? It was O'Reilly Auto Parts or something for a while, but a very nice track. So tell me something about your background. I know a lot of people who get into racing early who go the mechanical engineer route. Was that the plan, or did you just happen to be good at math?
No, I actually planned on being an accountant. Both my parents kind of went to school, being an accountant. That's what my mother did. And then my dad, said, well, you kind of like, this racing deal and, building stuff. Why don't you think about mechanical engineer? And then I just went, and that's the route I went.
Okay. Only got about another minute left. I know you're an automotive engineer. You're originally for Cooper, but Goodyear bought him out, so that's why. So what do you do? And does your job help you with racing, or does racing help you with your job?
I think they're pretty separate, but so being an automotive engineer for Goodyear, I am basically the face of the customer. I work solely on the General Motors account, so I'm the face of the customer on the technical side for Goodyear with General Motors.
Okay. Too bad they didn't need a tire tester. You could go do that with your background, right? You'd be fine with that, right?
That was a discussion.
Oh, really?
Back when I was with Cooper, but that would require moving to Texas, and that wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah, they don't run winged supers down there either. So, AJ, it's great getting to know you. I can't wait to meet you in person at the track. Look for his 88 at the Speedway this year. And, of course, that was, in case you're wondering, that was his dad's old football number. So that's why they went with that. AJ, thanks so much for your time. Let's hope the little guy stays asleep and you can enjoy a quiet evening. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for all you do to promote Supermodified racing.
I appreciate that. Guys, hit the blue E. That'll subscribe you, turn on your notifications, hit the like buttons and all that cool stuff. We'll have a lot this year from both the ISMA and MSS Tour. It is going to be a lot of fun, so look for more exciting content down the road.